all messed up today.
I haven't even looked at myself in the actual camera. Been a little funky. It's Smackdown Day. Happy Smackdown Day.
Yeah. Not a good SmackDown. It was
Not a great Smackdown. This
matches.
is the first Smackdown that I fell asleep during.
Yeah. You lucky son of a bitch. You slept through Logan Paul.
No, it was so good. I fell asleep when they were starting the KO show. I woke back up after when Sami came out. I woke up.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, didn't even think about it. Just had vague memories of Corbin.
Mm. Yeah. Well, I am entirely jealous that you slept through that. But
Sick.
yep, this is SmackDown. Liz is watching Rampage while we do this.
I should mute that shit.
I won't be. I'm not watching Rampage. I'm probably gonna be watching it after.
I'm really just here to find out if Adam Cole is at AEW.
If he's debuting, it's not gonna be till All Out at the very least. It's gonna be at a pay-per-view. If anything, Lana debuts tonight. Or at All Out. Whenever Miro has it's All Out.
Miro is talking tonight.
Is he? Oh, maybe she is debuting tonight.
Malachi Black is now going to kill Dustin Rhodes.
Ooh, that's gonna be good. All right, so yeah, we had SmackDown. We had featured Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns for the title. And they also announced Brock Lesnar will be returning next week at Madison Square Garden. We also announced Edge versus Seth Rollins will be happening next week. Naomi will be finding out who her opponent is next week. Maybe. They teased the demon prince coming back, or demon king, whatever.
I thought that they were kind of giving Brock like supernatural sort of edge because they kind of did that with the music with Paul's phone call. No, I was wrong.
If they were gonna fucking bring anything back with Finn after today, what I would want them to bring back is Balor Club. Except have it be like Finn, Kyle, and Roddy. But if they need like a big guy, I forget what the term is. I think it's a reeler or something. What'd you say?
Hoss?
A hoss?
Oh.
I don't think so. At least not what I'm thinking of.
Big guy.
Maybe get like Ciampa, Roddy, and Finn as Balor Club. That could be cool. That could be really cool. And then they're like the face team to beat.
I also feel like we shouldn't be glossing over the biggest reason why we're here tonight.
Is it because Logan Paul was on the show?
Right.
Yeah, Logan Paul was on SmackDown and KO show. It was really dumb.
Actually, no. I washed my hair for Mark because it's Mark's birthday.
What?
It's your birthday.
For an hour and 38 minutes.
You all get to celebrate with us while we sip Prosecco, and I guess you guys don't.
I wish I had like party music and everything to play right now. Like some poppers go off in the fucking stream. Yeah. My birthday.
Mark's old now.
25.
Yeah, a senior citizen, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Max literally texted me and said it's time for me to go to a nursing home.
Aww.
Yeah.
Do you think you will, or?
Yeah, it's what I need. All right. We also had Seth versus Cesaro, running that back. A very uneventful show. Becky versus Bianca announced for Extreme Rules. The contract signing will be happening, I think, next week or 2 weeks from now. Okay,
Next week.
gotcha. Yeah, very very uneventful SmackDown. It's all announcing for further shows. But do you want to get into the news?
Sure. Let's get into the news. The nudes.
The news?
Birthday nudes.
Yep. That's what you call it. Also, I still haven't updated the graphic for
Lord
SmackDown.
Marcus.
Still Bianca's as the champion and Apollo's still the champion. You know what? Let's leave it like that. Let's leave it like that for like another month.
News.
There's news?
Lord. Yes, there's plenty of news. Actually, yeah, there really is quite a lot of news today.
Is the news not just my birthday?
Weirdly enough, no.
Hmm.
So I don't know. There's a lot of news, and at the same time, I feel like one of the main things to talk about is I'll just get this done now. The passing of Daphne at the age of 46.
Yep.
Daphne Younger, also known as Shannon Sproul, who worked at WCW, worked for TNA, passed away after taking her own life. At the age of 46, it was kind of a big deal because she Instagram lived basically her final moments. So dark. Don't be a dick and look for it. Probably isn't that important to you in terms of what happened. Doesn't change anything.
The family's avoiding sharing details, understandably.
I don't blame them. People are starting to blame their family for like the fact that, I guess in the Instagram live, she said that she felt alone and stuff like that. And it's like, you just lost somebody.
Yeah.
So that's really sad. There's nothing else I can really say about that. Kind of debated just not doing news at all today, but I figure I'm just going to do. There wasn't a lot of like crazy news. But that's upsetting. And then on top of that, Rikishi is seeking help for his niece who was murdered just recently. She was 16 years old. And I guess they just don't know who did it. It's at this point they've got a $50,000 reward for information leading to the identification, arrest, and conviction of the suspects. So if you live in San Francisco, that's something you could do. Yes, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how that shit works. I've never been in the position of knowing that somebody did a thing. Yeah, so condolences to everybody involved in those two stories. Here, I'll just talk about some lighthearted stuff, like the Jarrah Cruise. I don't think that's what, is that what he's calling it?
I think so.
It's the Jericho Cruise. That's really fucked up, actually. He really should have called it the Jarrah Cruise. Thank me later, Chris.
Don't say that because he's just gonna yell in your ear.
And if I had the volume up, I would have that happening to me right now. But the Jarrah Cruise, aka the Rock and Wrestling Raidretsy Triple Whammy, is going to require proof of vaccination to get into. Which, for the guy who played a massive super spreader event, impressive, I guess.
He learned, I guess.
Or he was forced to.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure he's not the only one in charge here.
Yeah. And then on top of that, the company has hired AEW, that is, has hired Shane Emerson to be its head of global programming and partnership. Basically, it's looking as though AEW is going to be pushing towards international expansion.
Mm-hmm. In the same vein as that, WWE has officially ended WWE Japan.
Yes, I saw that.
I also have a little bit of cryptic news that Sean Ross Sapp tweeted today. Yeah, today. It's kind of WWE related.
Well, I think I'm on my WWE stuff now, so.
Okay.
Got it.
Somebody tweeted at him, "Get a real job, bro. AEW sucks. What are you gonna do to support yourself when Vince buys them?" And then he responded saying, "Ha ha ha, remember this tweet in a few weeks." That is very cryptic and could be alluding to WWE getting bought. And that could be coming sooner rather than later. That's just my assumption right now.
A few weeks?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like October.
It's really been 6 months since Sean Ross Sapp said he had big news in 6 months. Right after that second round of releases, I think.
No. It wasn't big news. It was, we'll see the ramifications of this in 6 months.
Yeah.
And I think that's connected.
One way or another is him having big news in 6 months. Clearly, he's got to jump on something.
Mm-hmm.
There are rumors that Vince is selling WWE to Disney, which is going to fucking destroy everything if that's the case. It's going to make the WWE almost unwatchable, I can guarantee you.
Yeah, we'll be experiencing another PG era. Although, I don't know about that, actually. Not all of Disney's products are PG. Not entirely. But I think that would definitely solidify WWE being a content creation company as opposed to a wrestling company. Really trying to milk the money out of everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to find out what Sean Ross Sapp is talking about, though. Also, Bad Bunny is expected to return. It looks like we have not seen the last of him, which is pretty cool. And then, sort of in lieu of that, The Miz was not on TV for a reason last week. Marcus, would you like to tell us what that reason was?
Yes, because he's going to be on the newest season of Dancing with the Stars. The man came back from an ACL sprain and said he's going to dance his ass off. You know what? He's probably going to kill it.
I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah. I could see him winning. I mean, he, unlike a lot of the other celebrities, he has athletic talent.
So there's two last pieces of news here. One is that Chris Sharp, referee for NXT UK, my favorite referees. He's the American guy.
Mm-hmm.
He signed a new contract. The NXT UK. Good for him. Yeah. And that I had my one piece of light news. And also Jared Cruz. So NXT is getting obviously a lot more changes. And it looks like, according to Dave Meltzer, there are a lot of names on the chopping block. Mark, you initially gave me this story. So I don't know if you want to speak to it.
No.
You don't? Okay, so I will. Basically, it looks like with Pritchard and Vince taking over on the first live episode, which is the September 14th episode, which is when we're supposed to be seeing all those new changes come into play. A lot of people are on the short list for getting chopped, and that includes a lot of veterans, according apparently to Dave Meltzer.
Yeah. There's a list of veterans, people who have been with NXT for a long time, which at this point, the only one on that list that's notable is Johnny Gargano, probably Tommaso Ciampa, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong. All of them are probably getting cut, unfortunately. But
Rather, how about this? All of them fit the bill for who would be cut, instead of us saying that they will get cut.
That's fair. But Vince and Bruce are not going to be handling the weekly episodes in production. They will be handling the big picture stuff, like the marketing, the who gets pushed long term, and stuff like that. They're not doing it because of time mostly, but it's still going to be handled by the NXT circle, is what Dave Meltzer called it.
Yeah. I'm just a little. So good. I feel like September 14th is going to be a very dark day in WWE history. It's going to be a bad one.
Yeah. It's going to be good and bad because, I mean, it'll be good because we'll be seeing the new CWC, which, I mean, from the teases they showed during SmackDown, it looks pretty decent. I mean, more seating, a more grand space, it looks like. Not as soulless as, like, the main roster spaces with a giant LED screen. It still looks like it has a good vibe to it. But yeah. And it will be very sad and unfortunate that day, just to see how NXT suffers because of this.
And to see who they lose.
Mm-hmm. Now I have a little bit of news that talks about Tony Khan and AEW. If you want me to talk about that real quick.
He went through the AEW news. Oh my god!
I just found this. It's actually really cool. So Tony Khan talked with Wrestling Inc. about how the TNT title is not a mid-card championship. He says, it's not a mid-card championship. The only people that have held the belt are Cody Rhodes, Brody Lee, Darby Allin, and Miro. I don't consider it, and I'm not booking it like a mid-card championship. I'm looking at it like a top title that stars hold. I will take exception right off the bat. That is the key to the championship, is that none of the champions have been a stretch. In thermodynamics, heat is passed from a warmer body to a cooler body. If you have a hot belt and you take a cold wrestler and you say, I can heat this guy up by putting the belt on him, the problem with that is that you cool off the belt. The key to this belt, in my opinion, has been that from the beginning, it's been hot matches. It's been pushed on television, and the champion has always been a protected star, and it would not have been right for Darby to honestly win the first tournament, and Darby was a huge part of the tournament. He went to the semifinals and lost to Cody before the Cody-Lance Archer match at the pay-per-view because it was part of the build for Darby finally winning the title. That clearly shows that he's a very smart man when it comes to this stuff, and he's being very intelligent and clever with how he books.
I guess you wouldn't know what this is like, because maybe you do. Did you ever, like, growing up, like, did you ever, like, go to, like, a friend's house and, like, you saw their family? Like, fuck, I wish that were my family.
Yeah.
Did you ever have that moment?
A little bit, sometimes.
Okay. I feel like that's how I feel about Tony Khan. Though I watch AEW, I'm just like, fuck. Or my...
I mean, we watch it.
Yeah. WWE is my family. This is like found family that I got like when I graduated college.
Yeah. But yeah, that was just an interesting tidbit to talk about.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Gets into his mindset of how he books that title.
Yeah. I like that. I'd like to move into wrestling.
Matches and promos for SmackDown.
Also, good news, Pat McAfee's coming back. next week.
Just in time for Brock Lesnar. All right. So, like I said, not a good episode of SmackDown. Give it 4 stars. 4-star average. What held it up was Roman and Finn. That match hadn't happened.
It was bonkers.
Yeah, that hadn't happened, so it would have been a fucking stinker. All right, so we start off SmackDown immediately with the Usos versus the Street Profits, but the Usos are in the ring and they have mics. And Jay says, "The bloodline is now in your city." Jimmy says, "You want to know something, Us? All I kept thinking about was, why would the Profits want to stick their nose in the family business? Maybe because they want to make a name for themselves." Jay says, "What they did was disrespect the head of the table, disrespect the bloodline. Prove yourself to the 7-time tag team champions, the Usos. We are the ones." Dawkins, Street Profits come out. Montez says, "Dawkins, we feel like fools. We embarrassed the Usos in front of the head of the table." Doc says, "What are you doing in the ring without your permission slips?" Pez says, "But they are spitting facts, though. They are the ones. The ones about to get their asses whooped." And so we get Usos versus Street Profits, and I wanted this to be a really good match. I really wanted it to.
Yeah.
And then they gave us a fucking DQ for a stupid ass DQ. I hate these fucking DQs when it's the illegal person in the ring too long.
So basically we get Jimmy versus Dawkins. There's a shoulder tackle to Dawkins, and Dawkins hits a drop kick after Jimmy vamps to the crowd for a little bit. My hair looks like a fucking mess. It's because I've got a migraine. I'm not really holding it together right now. Anyways. Montez gets in. He drop kicks Jimmy. Montez goes ringside following Jimmy, but Jay and Jimmy slam him into the barricade. Jay gets a clubbing blow to Montez's head after the commercial break. Montez hits a step up in security to Jay. Jimmy then gets in. He stops Montez from tagging out. Tez then sends Jimmy into the post. We then have Jay versus Dawkins. There's clotheslines to Jay and a hip attack to Dawkins. Jimmy gets in. They're fighting. Dawkins is fighting both Usos up top. Shoves Jimmy off the ropes and goes to jump down onto him, but Jimmy avoids it. Dawkins lands on his feet. And Enziguri rocks Dawkins, though. Montez gets in. Dawkins still manages to hit the anointment into a from the heavens from Montez. And they still... He kicks out.
Yeah, which was fucked up. Because they killed so many finishers today. 2, but that's too many.
Yeah, so after both Man's finisher, Jimmy kicks out, and then Jay gets in the ring to, like, interfere. Doesn't get out of the ring. Then, match is DQ'd.
Yep.
Playing, like, WWE 2K20 rules right now.
We would be booked better, though. Or we would be booking this better.
Which, if you'd like to see us book this better, tune in on Monday
on this channel, twitch.tv/The Pinfall Podcast. And later on YouTube, we are doing a WWE 2K20 stream. We're starting our Universe Mode streams with SummerSlam. We got a big card. It's going to be posted on Twitter. It's going to be posted on Twitter tonight, but I'll be posting it later in during the weekend. The full card. So you'll definitely want to check it out because it's Liz and I commentating over it. So it's going to be chaotic, fun, and it's going to be a great time.
So we think.
It'll be a great time. All right. Also, real quick, I want to acknowledge the tribal chief. But I want to acknowledge Top Dollar on Twitter. He NXT's Twitter like did a congratulations to Carmelo Hayes and like asked like which title should he go for. And Top Dollar, he mixed kayfabe with real thoughts in this tweet. He says, "We love to see young black males thriving, so for your continued health and prosperity, I suggest you take your exploits as far away from Hit Row as conceivably possible." I love that. He mixed in the, I love this. I love seeing black men thrive, but also kayfabe. That was great.
Yeah. Good. I love Top Dollar so much.
He is so good. He is amazing.
Also, CM Punk keeps diving into crowds, and it's giving me anxiety. It's so cute because literally every time he comes out, it always like looks like he's like kind of nervous. Like maybe they're not going to be as crazy for me as they were like Wednesday because I keep doing this shit.
Mm-hmm. All right. So after that match, I guess we had Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman in the suite. Roman just says to Paul, "Bring me my cousins." We then go outside of his suite. Paul Heyman is leaving. Kayla runs up to him and he says, "Kayla, you need to enjoy the moment." His ringtone, his phone goes off, and it's Brock Lesnar's walkout that plays. Very obviously, Brock calling. He ignores it, starts talking to Kayla again. It plays again.
Brock's a needy little bitch.
Yeah. And Paul answers it. He says, timing's a little off. He's cut off. He continues talking on the phone with Brock. He says, "I don't have a lot of privacy right now." He says, "Okay, I'll deliver the message." And then around the corner, you see a janitor mopping stuff up. I looked at him. I was like, he's bent over way too far. That is somebody I know. And then it turns out to be Biggie, and he's just giggling his ass off, cackling with the briefcase. Like, part of me loves how cryptic they are with Biggie with the briefcase, but they gotta do something a little more with him. You know, they're almost Otising him.
I think it's like because I think right now like the way they're thinking of it, it's like the briefcase kind of like makes it so they can't feud with anybody. Like I think that's how they're seeing it.
Yeah, like, yeah, it's like they're kind of lingering in the shadows with it, but that's really all they can do.
Yeah, when like that's not true.
Yeah, I mean, I would love, like a Damian Sandow, Seth Rollins kind of Money in the Bank run, especially with Big E. Big E could fucking pull anything off.
Yeah.
But then we go to the ring for Becky Lynch. She says, "The man has come around to Jacksonville. Last week I walked to this ring. Everybody wants to run elbows with me. Bianca is one hell of an athlete. The most athletic woman in WWE. The only woman to win the main event of WrestleMania besides me. I was excited to go toe-to-toe with her at SummerSlam. Somehow I'm being portrayed as the bad guy, though. Let me explain something. I have been preparing to get my title back. You just weren't ready. You don't get to cry they beat you too fast. Just because I haven't played this game in a while doesn't mean I forgot how to win. You can call yourself the EST, but we both know that that's a lie. You might be able to fool some people, but you can't fake experience. All it took is one flick of my fist to your face, and your little title reign ends." And Bianca Belair comes out. She says, "You know what? That championship was more than just a title. It etched my name in the history books. That moment at SummerSlam keeps playing in my head. I came so far and I lost all of it in 26 seconds. You know what I'm not afraid to admit? I'm embarrassed. It still hurts. What I won't do is build myself up by bringing another woman down. I will never make excuses for myself. You standing here speaking my name like you know me, you don't know me. Last week I showed I was the strongest, and while you were away, I proved I was the best. I will be known as the greatest when I win back the title. You wouldn't give me the rematch, so I went and earned it. It's a question of when. Roman is defending his title tonight. How about you show up and show out. Do the same thing as Roman tonight. Becky pauses for a moment and she says, I don't give a damn what Roman does. No. Becky's not a good heel. She is not. She is being cliche as fuck. She's hamming it up. Like she's not believable as the bad guy at all in any way.
Hey, it was bad. It was really bad. There's a reason you're a face, honey. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, the crowd's never gonna boo her. They had to pipe in boos. Especially in Jacksonville. Like fucking Florida, home of WWE.
Yeah.
Home of Marks.
From Jacksonville?
Huh?
From Jacksonville?
I just assume that's where they're based. I don't know. But well, that's where the Performance Center is. That's why I say that.
Where was the Money in the Bank? Where was that? Was that
It was Connecticut.
Florida or
It was Stanford.
I can't believe we were so close.
Yeah. We could have been there.
Can't
We
believe
could have watched.
We literally drove past the second roof.
We could have went across the street, pulled out our binoculars, and watched Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black fall to the second roof.
Where do you think do you think they still have the Undertaker room?
Yeah.
You think Undertaker's still there?
Yeah. But yeah, while Bianca pulls out a great promo, Becky's just hamming this shit up. We wanted her to come back so bad, but this sucks.
Not like this.
This is awful. Then we get Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode backstage. They pass by Tony Storm. Robert Roode walks off. Dolph runs over to Tony, and this was so cringy. Dolph says, "You can check out my match. You want a front row seat? You can sit in my corner." Tony says, "You're great, but I'm rooting for Rick Boogs." Dolph just says, "Yeah, he's a nice guy. Let's see you around." Was he trying to flirt? Like, Dolph, I feel like you're much older than Tony.
One, he definitely is, and two, this was such an awkward promo.
What was it? What was it accomplishing?
Why did he compliment Boogs?
Probably like, yeah, he's like a nice guy, but okay. So Tony Storm is 25 and Dolph Ziggler is 41. A 16-year gap there. If that was flirting, it could have just been like, "Hey, new girl, what's up?"
Because that's usually how men are. The amount of times that I've ever gotten, "Oh, so you're the new girl."
Mm.
It's always followed up with like, "So like, here's why you should be into me," and I'm like, "Oh, I thought we were just gonna be pals." Yuck.
Although it was great seeing Tony. I
would love to like see her doing her job.
They could have just had her wrestle Liv Morgan or something. Have her wrestle fucking Carmella. Somebody.
Have her wrestle Naomi.
Anything. Like, exhibition matches exist for a reason. They're used to pad up stats. If one person wins, it doesn't mean they get over on the other person. It doesn't put the other person down. It's a match. It gives a win. Who cares? It's so stupid that they can't just like have pointless matches. Like Sami Zayn versus Dominic Mysterio, that's a pointless match. If the match had been good, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
You don't need to run back Cesaro and Seth Rollins again. Just have Seth fight have him fight
Dom.
Have him fight.
Speaking of rolling it back.
Have him fight Sami Zayn. Have Cesaro fight Dominic. Like, the heel face dynamic works for feuds. You don't need it for a match.
Oh, Mark, in order to have different matches that are unique, you need to have not released half of your wrestling base.
When was the last time we saw Natty and Tamina on TV?
please don't do this. It was like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks. Okay.
And Natty came back and fought against Shotzi and Knox.
Right, and she didn't look very good.
No, I don't think she did.
Oh my god, it's so annoying that they feel like they have to tie everything into a story. Like, just have a match for the sake of having a match. It's not going to kill you. I mean, fucking...
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, no, keep going if you're going to talk about SmackDown.
I mean, I was going to say, on AEW, Penelope Ford fought Yuka Sakazaki for no reason. And it was a great match.
Nobody happens all the time.
Nobody complained.
I don't know. The little thing I was going to say, and it's not going to be a popular thing among you or anybody, probably. At least anybody that watches this.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to watch the stupid fucking Rhodes, the show with Brandy and Cody.
I mean, as
only
like a train
because,
wreck.
well, yeah, and not for entertainment value, but only because like it looks like it's a lot of backstage shit, and like wrestlers that are part of AEW doing non-wrestling stuff. It seems interesting. Like, I just saw Ricky Starks being a fucking weirdo at a party. Like, that it entices me.
I mean, all the show's gonna do is just fill Cody's ego. That's it. You know, in all honesty, I would much rather watch Miz and Mrs. Because at least Miz is very entertaining. Unlike Cody.
Yeah, I'll probably end up watching it just because, like, what else am I doing?
Cody's got, like, Triple H levels of ego when Trips was wrestling.
It's so funny because, like, during one of, like, the commercials for it, Cody was like, Brandy complains that, like, Cody always acts like everything's about him. Mm-hmm. And Cody literally, like, in one of those confessional style things, is like, you know, sometimes I just feel like everything's about me. And I was like,
oh, God.
Like, I guess, like, good thing you're all on the same page.
I mean, props to Cody for making AEW as popular as it is and or contributing to it being as popular as it is.
And Cody's a piece of shit, but yeah, I guess.
If it wasn't for Cody, if it wasn't for WWE refusing to give up Stardust, we wouldn't have AEW in the form that it is. Alright, so then, where the fuck? Oh, I got lost a little bit. Okay, so now we have Rick Boogs versus Dolph Ziggler.
This is an easy one. So, sleeper on Boogs. Boogs powers up, presses Dolph over his head before dropping him on the mat. I don't know what to call this. I couldn't understand them for the life of me. It sounded like they said the move was called the Barbados Slam.
Full name.
I also heard the oh god, what is the fucking this? Oh, I also heard Pompeo Slam, which just made me think of Ellen Pompeo from, was it Grey's Anatomy or something?
I don't know what you're referencing.
I don't know. I just couldn't understand what it was called, but I'm gonna call it the Barbados Slam for the meantime. Dolph, however, slips free. He takes Boogs down, nearly super kicks Boogs, but Boogs catches him, hits him with the Barbados Slam to win.
Okay.
The Ellen Pompeo Slam.
Yeah, like, having just a thrown together match like this is fine if you make the match, you know, worthwhile. Like, make it longer. Oh my god, this is, like, obnoxious. How they give us good matchups, like Boogs and Dolph is a good matchup. Sami and Dominic is a good matchup.
Boogs and anybody really is a good matchup right now because we haven't seen Boogs wrestle.
We saw him wrestle last week.
I mean, like, a grand scale, we have not seen him wrestle.
Yeah. Like, give us longer matches. This is a wrestling show. Like, WWE isn't a wrestling company anymore, but this is a wrestling show. Like, put emphasis on the wrestling in the episode.
Yeah.
So then we get oh my god, how am I getting lost in my notes? So we get Becky Lynch, Sonya Deville, and Adam Pearce backstage. Sonya's like, so you're gonna wrestle Bianca for the title. And Becky's like, yeah, I will, but when I feel she's ready. Sonya said, no, that match is happening. It's not happening tonight for sure, but it's happening at Extreme Rules. Pierce said, you and Bianca will sign that contract. Becky walks away, and Sonya just whispers, she doesn't look so happy. Like, this is so fucking ridiculous. I mean, come on. Becky's talking such a high game in her promos. Like, her promo dialogue is so contradictory to her actions. Like, she's talking a high game, like she's high as shit. She is a decorated champion. She is one of the most experienced women's wrestlers active right now. But she refuses to wrestle Bianca Belair? You can have fighting champions that are heels. I mean, look at Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley's wrestling like almost every week.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so weird to me. It's so weird.
Oh.
Like not just Becky is weird to me, but Sonya's gotten weird to me too.
Sonya's gotten so annoying.
Sonya's gotten bad.
Yeah.
Like Sonya said it, like the way she announces that matches are happening has been bad, and like then on top of that, like the way she's been treating Naomi, like I get like that we're supposed to be annoyed. Like even that like isn't done well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm frustrated.
How Becky's storyline is going, it's like in a video game. When you can pick your dialogue choices. You pick the evil line of dialogue for every choice. Doesn't always line up. But you're picking the evil one consistently. Like, Becky's consistently an asshole, but none of it matches.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's not even consistent with how she was previously. Like, at least, like, Seth Rollins, for example. His heel work is still consistent with how he was as a face. Like, you can see the flow of his character. Becky just came back and, like, switch flipped, and she's a whole new character. Instantly.
I'm so mad because we were so excited for her to come back.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I actually wasn't very excited for her to come back. Because I knew they would do exactly what they did minus the heel bit. I knew they would immediately just throw the title on her.
Kind of hope they wouldn't.
Yeah. And she's probably going to hold on to it until Survivor Series because she has the title, Charlotte has the title. They can throw in another Charlotte versus Becky match at Survivor Series.
Everything has been so poorly done that it's like I never expected it to go this bad. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So after that, we get an interview with Seth Rollins, having some good content for once. He says, tonight is a perfect opportunity for a new beginning. I have watched my match with Edge back at least 1,000,000 times. I probably have watched every match in his career. I will defeat my old nemesis Cesaro tonight. I am a revolutionary. I'm like a fine wine. I get better with time. And then we get Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. As much as this match shouldn't have happened, it was still a decently good match. It would have been fantastic if it hadn't ended with the DQ.
Yeah. Fuck. I did miss somebody saying Cesaro though. I missed that.
Yeah.
I forgot how much of a void that filled in my heart.
And as we see, if Seth isn't feuding with him, Cesaro doesn't have a storyline.
Oh. Guess we shouldn't complain.
Yeah.
Alright. Oh. There's a backbreaker to Seth. And then an uppercut. Seth dropkicks Seth.
Seth dropkicks Seth. Ooh.
No, I shortened Cesaro to Zaz for Zazaro instead, and now I'm gonna have to deal with that.
Oh, you screwed yourself.
So there's a dropkick to Cesaro, and then a dropkick to Seth. Cesaro sets up for the swing, but Seth grabs the rope immediately. And Seguri fails to hit Cesaro, and then there's an uppercut to Seth. Seth gets the Impaler DDT to Cesaro, and then sends him face first into the buckles. Seth goes up. But he's uppercut by Cesaro. Cesaro wants a superplex, but gets lifted up and buckle bombed instead. Seth goes for a neck breaker. Cesaro goes for a backslide. Neither of them get what they want. There's the edge-o-matic to Cesaro because the whole point is that Seth has learned from Cesaro.
He did the execution earlier.
I never saw an execution. I only saw the Impaler DDT and the edge-o-matic.
I saw it. And I saw pictures of it too afterwards.
So Cesaro then powerbombs Seth, hits him with a big lariat. He wants the swing, but Seth reverses with a roll-up. Cesaro still launches him down anyways, hits him with the swing, gets I think it was like a couple 10, 15 rotations. He gets the sharpshooter, but Seth reaches the ropes. Rollins then heads out to ringside. Cesaro meets him out there, goes for an uppercut, only to meet a steel chair to the facial region. And Seth loses his shit.
Yeah. I feel like this happened and we're just back at square one with Seth. Like he's crazy still, but crazy with Edge's moves. But
yeah.
The way Edge ties it in to this grand story, it makes it work so well. Honestly, Edge and Seth is probably the most entertaining thing on SmackDown. The only reason to watch besides just Roman.
Let's say that about Finn. Leave him out.
I'm torn on Finn. I know that the demon shit is gonna be, it's gonna be hit or miss. Real quick, a little bit of news from Dave Meltzer on Hulk Hogan.
Oh.
Apparently, this is from earlier today, from a video of a charity event over the weekend. Hulk Hogan was having severe mobility issues. He wasn't moving well at all. Dave Meltzer wrote that it's not unexpected given his age. He's 68 and back surgeries, but still, it's very unfortunate. And then Dave also continues it. He would not have expected in 2021 that Mick Foley would be moving around so much better than Hulk Hogan. Yeah, that's very unfortunate, especially since Hulk was infamous in his career for, trying to do the least amount to his body, besides his work in Japan. He kind of wouldn't try very hard to be very active in the ring.
I mean, everybody's different.
And one of his big moves was the leg drop and falling on your tailbone like every week.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah. All right. So then we had the Bloodline in Roman's suite. Paul comes in. He says, "My tribal chief, we have a problem." Roman says, "I got no problems. I'm about to smash Finn."
Me too, buddy.
Paul says, we have a problem with Brock Lesnar. He's going to be at Madison Square Garden next Friday. Because Brock Lesnar called me on my phone for the first time in a year. Roman says, he's at home watching the show. Paul says, I'm sure he has Fox in Saskatchewan, or whatever he said.
Saskatchewan.
And Roman's like, how do you know he's in Saskatchewan? Paul says, I don't know. I don't know. He could be in Missouri. And then Roman says, how do you know he's not here? And Paul kind of gives that look of like, I don't. That was a great promo. That was fantastic stuff. Corbin then rolls in his Rolls Royce. He says, finally, valet to Mackenzie. And also, great on Mackenzie Mitchell for being at a Smackdown. He's come up from NXT.
I wonder if Kevin was busy.
Maybe. And then he hands the keys to Mackenzie. We then get an interview with Edge. He says, I hope this was over. I hope Seth will be moving on. This whole time, I've noticed how alike we are. If I lost the way Seth did at SummerSlam, I would have done the same thing. I know the game he's playing. He has to stop. Seth, I'm coming down the barrel. I'm challenging you to a match next week on SmackDown. Edge versus Seth Rollins 2, Madison Square Garden. I burned you down once. I told you, this doesn't end well. God, that match is gonna rock in front of Madison Square Garden crowd. It's gonna be great.
I guess I was also asleep for this.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh my god. It was a great... Edge, fucking, he kills it. I'm so glad.
Whenever I have a migraine, once I take my migraine medicine, I'm always like really fucking tired. Like I'm tired now. But like it hit me. And there was that Taco Bell commercial about people going to bed early so they could get the Taco Bell breakfast burritos. And I was just like, going to bed early sounds so nice. And then I fell asleep. Apparently Mark asked me if I was asleep and I nodded.
Yeah, I asked you like 3 times if you were asleep and you nodded each time. So I guess you were right.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Alright, so then we had the KO show with special guest Happy Corbin. It's gonna be so hard saying that. Let me finish my champagne.
Did you bring the bottle in there?
No. Miriam said Taco Bell sponsorship coming soon, perhaps.
Who was it? There was that guy who was in 205 Live and got released, who had the colorful hair.
Oh, Ari Sterling.
Ari Sterling. He had a Taco Bell sponsorship for a little while.
Cool.
Jealous, honestly. I could do it. I would let Taco Bell ruin my stomach every night.
No, you wouldn't.
I think they put crack in those burritos.
So, KO is in the ring. He says, I think they know it's the KO show because I'm wearing a tie. Tonight my guest is somebody you wouldn't expect to be my guest. Welcome, Happy Corbin. Corbin comes out with his lame-ass walkout. He says, I'm so happy to be part of the Kevin Owens show. I wanted to say thank you. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be where I am today. I'd still be eating spaghetti out of a can. I know why you're mad, though. You want that $100 back? I know someone who might have it. My special guest, Logan Paul. Logan Paul comes out, and the crowd is booing him like crazy. He says, thanks for having me on. Kevin says, I didn't really invite you, did I? I wouldn't subject these people to that. But while I have you here, after you lost to Big E, didn't he call you? And then Corbin interrupts him by saying, I took it as a compliment. And then KO brings up the animosity between Corbin and Logan. And Logan says, we're all good now. KO says, it makes sense you guys became buddies. You have a lot in common. because we have one of the most self-centered, useless pieces of trash to step foot into a WWE ring. Logan Paul. And Corbin is here too. Corbin says, would you say that to someone who would give you $100? Oh no, Logan says that. He says, you could use this more than I could. Kevin says, I don't need your money. The only thing I need from you is to turn around, get out of my ring, and never show your face in WWE. Logan then shoves KO. KO pushes back. Corbin, they kind of aim up to fight, but then Corbin attacks KO, gives a choke slam to KO, and then they walk out. Props to WWE for knowing that the crowd would hate Logan Paul, booking him as this piece of shit. At least kind of aware. But then we go to Sami Zayn versus Dominic Mysterio. What is this, a 2-minute match or something like that?
I've got 6 notes on it.
Cool.
So Dammy.
Yep. The demigod.
I'm watching the demo god, Chris Jericho. Sami drives Dom into the corner. Dom gets a wrist lock on Sami. Sami gets out of it. Dom gets taken down by Zayn. There's an arm drag to Sami off the ropes and then a clothesline to Dom. Dom hits the flying head scissors to Sami. He goes for the 619, but Sami rolls away. He gets sidelined by Rey Mysterio. Dominic then dives out onto Sami by kind of like going over the back of Jess Carr as she yells at Rey. Ultimately, this does not work because Dom gets Sami back in the ring. He looks at his father, kind of, I think, to say, like, can you go now? And in the process, he gets haluva kicked.
Yep. Also, Will Ospreay was announced for the Chris Jericho cruise.
If he's not going to, can we please call it the Jericho cruise?
Sure.
Thank you. God.
The cruise.
It's almost like in like graduation cards.
Mm-hmm.
Where it says congratulations. It's like you should have said congratulations, like GRAD. And I've never seen a card or balloon say that, and it makes me so mad every fucking time because, like, here I am with a brilliant idea that would make me money. No one's taking advantage of it. If you want to make a card that says congratulations, just please, like, at me.
So the full lineup of the Jericho cruise is obviously Master of Ceremonies is Chris Jericho. The guest of honor is Kurt Angle. And then they have the wrestlers lineup from All Elite Wrestling is Britt Baker, Orange Cassidy, Lance Archer with Jake Roberts, Will Hobbs, Frankie Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, Anna Jay, Colt Cabana, Gun Club, and Wheeler Yuta. The special guests are Will Ospreay, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, The Rock and Roll Express, Billy Gunn, Dean Malenko, Suge D, aka Pineapple Pete. Guest hosts include Brad Williams and Bully Ray. Let's see, are there any other names on here? Music by a bunch of bands, including Fozzy. Yeah, that's all the names I recognize. Many more to be announced.
Wait, Fozzie's gonna be on the Jericho cruise?
Yeah, shocker, right?
Holy shit!
Alright, so then we get Sonya on the phone. Backstage, Naomi walks in. She says, you told me last week that I'd hear about my match this week. Sonya's like, what? Oh, ask me next week. She walks away. We then get Finn, an interview in Gorilla. He says, for 5 years, people have been asking me what would have happened if I didn't get injured. Tonight, I answer the questions. And then finally, as our main event, we get Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. But before that, the Usos attack Finn. Yeah, the Usos attack Finn when he gets to the ring. But the Street Profits come out to chase off the Usos. And then we have the match.
Yeah, and let me be honest here. I did not take that many notes on this match because, like, what was I fucking taking notes on? Either I was, like, kind of, like, annoyed that things were happening the way they were happening, or I was, like, so fucking, like, shocked by what was happening that I was, like, not typing. So, Finn gets driven into the corner, and he just gets fucking launched across the ring. Roman starts bouncing Finn's head off the turnbuckle, clotheslining him. There's a dropkick to the knee of Roman, though, that sends Roman head over heels. And then some, like, dead legs him a little bit, a couple of times. Roman gets a headbutt to Finn as Finn goes for, I think it was like a dragon screw almost. He had Roman's leg. Finn then goes off the ropes, however, with a sling blade to Roman. Roman responds with an uppercut. He spikes Balor. Just realized our TV is still on. Anyways. Roman responds with an uppercut. He spikes Balor into the ground. He gets his comeuppance, though. Balor gets a bit of offense in the form of some fists to Roman. He manages the double stomp on Roman, then gets sent from the ring. I didn't see quite how he got back into the ring, but when he did, he flew out onto Roman, nearly smashing Roman's head into the announce desk, which kind of gave me a little anxiety. He goes for the coup de grace, can't quite get it, lands on his feet. There's a Superman punch to Finn. Roman wants the spear. Finn kicks him in the head, which was a very funny exchange. Because it's just like Roman's running at him, and Finn just goes, boop.
Yeah, it's like, that's all you needed to do.
Why didn't anyone else try that?
Yeah, just avoid a spear with a knee.
So Balor then plants Reigns in the ground, drop kicks him, hits in the coup de grace. Roman doesn't care for that shit, though. He kicks out of every other cover. And then gets the ground and pound on Phineas and the guillotine.
Yep. And that's Smackdown. But before Roman completely gets out of the arena, I forget what exactly happened. It was like some sound
lights
effect
flashed
playing.
red.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the lights flashed red, and that was it.
Yeah, and it's teasing the demon.
At first, I thought that was in like a thing, sort of like for like Brock, because the way they had done Brock's walkout music as Paul's ringtone was kind of ominous at first when you didn't realize it was his phone ringing. It just like you could just hear the Brock's music all of a sudden. I was like, are they trying to do like a fucking supernatural storyline with Brock? And I'm glad that was not the case, but I was very confused for a minute.
The reason I think this sucks though is because the at the heart of it, the real reason why the demon sucked originally. Because it made regular Finn look like shit because he couldn't get any wins without beating the demon.
Alright, so can I say something?
Yeah.
Real quick? I hope you know what I'm about to say. I said to you specifically. You said something about, I wonder if they're going to use the demon to get Finn the title. And I said, wouldn't you hate that, though? Because, like, of how they used to use the demon. You're like, I don't know. It was about an hour ago.
Yeah, it depends on how they do it. Like, if they still have Finn win against other opponents, that'd be fine. Like, if we see another match with Finn against Roman, and he can't quite get it because he's, like, so close, but he can't. And, like, needs to break out the demon, that's fine. Or if, like, he gets other wins elsewhere and is put into a triple threat against Brock and Roman and has to pull it out and wins with it, then that's a good way of doing it. Like it's supernatural and can beat two of the toughest guys in WWE, but it's not brought out very much. It and I also hope that like the Demon stays undefeated. Because Samoa Joe is the only one to beat the Demon, and it was in NXT. I hope they keep it that way. But somebody's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Probably be The Rock.
Oh, maybe.
I feel like it would be like the Finn beats Roman with the Demon before WrestleMania 2023, has the title. The Rock comes in, Uranagi's Finn, lays him out, and is like, and it looks at Roman like it was that easy.
Be fucked up.
It would be fucked up.
He's gonna Becky Lynch Finn.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be for the title. It would just be, he would just come in and do it.
It's like a fuck you.
Yeah. Alright, so now that we're done with our matches and promos, let's move on to the best of the night. Smackdown. If you have a question...
Best of the night was Mark's birthday. I win.
You win. You don't win anything, but you win.
Aw, babe.
If you have a question for our question segment, leave it in the chat now, so that it's there for when we move on to the questions right after the bests of the night. Alright, so before we get to the best of the night, though, let's do a recap or a quick update of the top 10 wrestlers in professional wrestling as of today. So, this isn't including from Rampage either. And this is among all the major promotions in professional wrestling, not just WWE. So to start off, number 10, my boy, the X Division champion, Josh Alexander. Number 9, the TNT champion, Miro. Number 8, former SmackDown Women's champion, Bianca Belair. Number 7, one half of the Impact Tag Team champions, Doc Gallows. Number 6, one half of the AEW Tag Team champions, Nick Jackson. Number 5, one half of the other half of the AEW Tag Team champs, Matt Jackson. Number 4, the almighty WWE champion, Bobby Lashley. Number 3, after today's match, the Universal champion, Roman Reigns. Number 2, some kid, Darby Allin. Number 1,
Some guy.
Number 1, AAA World Champion, the AEW World Champion. He is the Bout Machine, Kenny by God Omega. That is all. Alright, you want to do promo tonight?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, since you slept through that Edge promo, I can't do that. Let's do the Bloodline. I'm feeling the Bloodline promo when Paul was telling Roman about how they have a problem.
Yeah,
like
I can agree with that.
That was fun. Second place is Paul's interview with Big E.
Especially because he yelled at Kayla. Also, can I say, and this is like not really meant to shade anybody, but I always forget that the Good Brothers are the Impact Tag Team champions.
It's because they don't do such a great job with their tag scene.
No, they don't.
They've been doing a great job with Violent by Design, but everything else, not so much.
Violent by Design is like...
Yeah. Their punishment of Rhino. It's fucked up.
Dude, that was fucked.
Alright, so Wrestler of the Night. I know who I'm picking.
I mean, I know what I'm picking.
I'm picking Seth. Breaking out Edge's moves, learning, and then going fucking bonkers. Best character work in the entirety of SmackDown, but at the very least this episode. doing the Edge-o-matic, the execution, whatever other Edge named moves.
Happy birthday.
I also love how he counters the swing now. It's so good. It's so clean. Were you gonna pick Finn?
Yeah.
I wanted to go with Finn, but he stopped selling the pre-match injuries very early on. All right. So now let's do match of the night. I feel like we won't be in contention here at all. So to start off from the worst to the best, with a 3 out of 10, Sami Zayn versus Dominic Mysterio. Such a short match. Yeah, it was okay. I don't know. I know both these guys can pull off great matches, and it was so short. It was underbooked, I guess. It was not great.
I get that.
Next up, another 3 out of 10. The Usos versus Street Profits. These guys could pull off a fucking banger. Like, match of the year contender between these two teams. And it's what, a 4-minute match that ends in DQ.
Yeah.
A lame DQ. At least have it like the Usos fucking, I don't know, pull out a chair. Something a little better than that. Have it last longer. It's such a shame.
It really was.
Next up with a 4 out of 10, Rick Boogs versus Dolph Ziggler. It was fine. It was super short. I mean, both of these guys can go. They really can. Dolph is fantastic. Boogs is great. Let them just go. You know? Let them wrestle. It's a fucking 2-hour show. Let them wrestle. So frustrating. And then next up, 5 out of 10, Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. This could have been a banger, but they had to pull out the non-finish. It was lining up to be fantastic, but the momentum was killed.
Yeah. But that's how it was for a lot of these matches tonight. Is that like they on paper it's a good match, and then in practice it was like horrible.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So finally, my pick for match of the night. 7 out of 10. Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns. It was a great match that had an actual finish, but Finn is still protected at the end of the day. The tease for the demon was fun. This match, it was like I was hoping for like Daniel Bryan, Brock Lesnar types of classic, like with that huge underdog. No one can quite pull it off as much as Daniel Bryan though. Finn's probably the closest. Or actually Kyle O'Reilly could actually pull that off pretty well. Yeah, this match was a lot of fun. Very solid. For a second I was like, could Finn actually do this? But no. Yeah. It was a great match. My main gripe with it is they killed the coup de grace. They fucking killed it.
That was fucked up.
I don't think anyone had kicked out of the coup de grace before today. At least not in the past few years. I can't remember the last time somebody did that. If anybody in chat knows, Roman kicking out of it, it used to be a very protective move. Now it's not.
Yeah, I don't know actually.
At least Finn still has a 1917 or 1916, whatever.
1917.
1918. 1920.
Whatever year he likes.
Yeah. 2020. Yeah. Unfortunate, but it was still a really fun match. So that's my match of the night. Is it yours?
I will agree with you. Yes.
Okay. So to run it back, promo of the night. Paul tells Roman the problem. Wrestler of the night, Seth Rollins. Match of the night, Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns. All right, you want to answer some questions?
Yeah.
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 Give me a second. I'm trying to find the questions. Trying to find some YouTube ones first before we move to Twitch. Mylon doesn't have a question on YouTube, but or at least in this video, he says, seems so hard these days for a babyface to get cheered for being a babyface. I wanted to respond to this and get your thoughts on it too. It's so hard to get cheered for a babyface, or cheered as a babyface for being a babyface. Because I think the main example is like Kyle O'Reilly. He got booed over Adam Cole, but mostly because Adam Cole is the most interesting. Like, he's just super interesting as a character. I'm trying to think of baby faces that actually got cheered for being baby faces. Drew isn't a baby face.
But I don't think he's going to be anymore.
Yeah, we wouldn't know because he wasn't a baby face in front of the crowd. Now he's a face, kind of like a tweener right now. Damien's a baby face.
Damien, that's why Drew shook his hand, because Damien's now the new baby face of Raw, because Drew's going to SmackDown. If anybody disagrees with me, you're wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Damien's getting cheered. He's getting huge cheers, and he's a baby face. But it is very hard because baby faces are not interesting. They don't make them interesting. Luckily, Damien was interesting because he teamed with Bad Bunny at the start of his main roster career, and in comparison to John Morrison and The Miz, he looked very interesting and compelling. But I think once AJ Styles goes face again, he will get cheered as a pure babyface, because AJ as a face is bar none. He's incredible. But I think it's just they don't know how to write interesting faces. They don't have that interesting quality to have somebody cheer for them. Because you can't have like somebody just be like inspirational and everything and that be their quality purely.
I think the last interesting babyface was probably Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. Daniel Bryan was probably the biggest babyface in history. One of. When Seth goes babyface, that's gonna be huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get a question from Marion. I'll answer the most recent one because it's related. Would you consider Cameron Grimes a babyface towards the end of his story with the $1 Million Championship? Absolutely.
Grimes got over in literally one moment.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
I'm trying to remember the line he said. It was literally one line where he got over. I can't remember it.
I mean, it also has a lot to do with the fact that crowd fucking hates LA Knight.
Yeah.
In a way that you would hate a heel. Not like they think he's bad, but
yeah, it's one of those by
not
association.
a carrying cross kind of hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Miriam. Thank you, Miriam. She said, "Why, Ted?" That was the line. He was talking to Ted DiBiase.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's a face, and I think he's going to remain a face. And it was incredible that he had gone so long as like this like hillbilly heel.
Mm-hmm.
In like 5 seconds flat, he became a face. That was, I have never seen such a nuanced turn.
Yeah, it's because
that like it wasn't obvious, but then all of a sudden you were like,
in that moment he dropped his work voice, his hillbilly voice, and put on his shoot voice for that one line. Just why, Ted? It's great. Like that is great booking right there.
You can say what you will about Cameron Grimes. He's not bad at his job.
Oh, 100%. All right, going back to YouTube for a second. Milam asked, what do you think is the craziest thing that's happened in the wrestling you've seen, however you define crazy? It was Mercedes Martinez getting knocked out.
Slapjack getting knocked out.
Yeah. The Fiend and the box-like structure. No, the craziest thing was fucking Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black getting thrown off the roof of WWE headquarters.
I think one of the craziest things that I have seen in recent times, especially because I can't remember every crazy thing that I've seen, but what I can remember off the top of my head, one of the craziest things I've ever seen is fucking ring post saga that's happening over AEW now.
Yeah,
and Christopher
Cash
Daniels
Wheeler.
gashing his head open, Cash Wheeler getting half of his like arm ripped off. That's some of the craziest shit I've ever fucking sat through. I mean, I've never seen a man bleed the way I saw fucking Christopher Daniels. I'm sorry, I'm getting Brian Daniels and
Brian
Danielson. Yeah, I'm getting that all fucked up. I've never seen somebody like Christopher Daniels bleed like that. I've never seen that happen. That was bonkers.
Yeah. There was also Chris Jericho punching that fan.
Yeah. I'm trying to look something up real quick.
Okay. Trying to think if there's anything else. There was Ninja Mac at GCW. Cracked his skull open in like a torture rack, something or other. Right onto the floor.
When that fan invaded the ring during the Shield, this was like, I think this was like a handful of years ago. It was back when the Shield was a thing. A fan got in the ring dressed like the Shield, basically.
Did he?
Yeah. And it was like, he stood up next to Roman, like, he was like, I think there was like something with like a mystery partner or something. Remember who they were fighting. But it was, that shit was weird. So, it was one of those things where like you see it happen, you're like.
So how about this? Craziest moment, the craziest injury, or the craziest accident, the craziest, like the most insane booking, and then the craziest as in like the hypest moment. So craziest injury for me is probably Mercedes Martinez getting knocked out.
Mine's Cash. I'm gonna get a little more wine while you keep going.
Oh, okay.
I gotta think.
Okay. I assume you can still hear me. Let's see, next is the Grant, like the most insane booking. It's probably I want to say like Raw Underground. Or it's no, the worst booking, like the most insane booking is probably the swamp fight between Bray and Braun, where you had to be crazy to film a match like that. In fact, they tied in Alexa Bliss to it for some reason, and the surprise Fiend re-debut, I guess.
I have to agree with that, but I think one of the crazy in the sense that like not I
like a crazy person would have to write it.
I just think Fiend and Goldberg was one of those ones that like always sticks with me as like, why did we choose to do that?
Oh wait, there's also Retribution's introduction.
That was
What? Think about it. When
I think, you know what the craziest thing for me as far as Retribution is concerned?
Hmm.
Was Mustafa revealing that he was the leader of it.
not how it was these masked people tearing up the ring when when the protests were happening.
I guess the only reason that doesn't register quite the same to me is because it's like I was so mad that they were doing what they were doing there.
Now the grandest, like the most crazy, holy shit, booking moment, whatever. Probably, oh god. I had a big moment, but I don't know. That could be something in AEW. Maybe Matt Cardona winning the title off Nick Gage. Somebody throwing a pizza. That whole moment was insane.
To think.
Mm-hmm.
God. I think as far as like really well done storylines, for me personally, just like in that like everything that happened, in my opinion, was like done good.
Mm-hmm.
Was the Randy Wyatt family storyline. That like still resonates with me. This like I mean, the Wyatt family was like the first thing that got me into or back into wrestling in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that shit and I was like, that's ooky.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care for that.
Yeah.
So I think that especially like because it all ended with Randy lighting the fucking Wyatt family compound on fire, then fucking posing like a goddamn nutcase. Chef's kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Um,
So like I can't think of like one match where I was like,
it doesn't have to be a match. It could be like any moment.
I think then Randy lighting the Wyatt family house on fire will forever just like stick in the back of my head.
Okay. There's also the actually I'm gonna change mine. I'm changing mine to John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, the Firefly Funhouse match. That was crazy.
The moment I said Randy and the Wyatt family, my brain went to that and I was like, I bet Mark's gonna say that.
All right, last question from Miriam. If you had a magical contract that gave you a title match against any wrestling champion, regardless of promotion, which title/champion would you pick to go against with the knowledge that you are going to win that title? I mean, if we're looking like if you want to get over in the biggest way possible, Universal title against Roman.
I'd beat Bobby Lashley.
Really?
Yeah. No, I want the black and gold belt. Sorry. But I would probably. It really says a lot about Raquel that I was like, who the fuck is the women's champion? NXT. I don't know. I'd probably do Britt Baker. If there's anybody to fucking defeat at this point, I feel like it's her.
Yeah. Kind of want to do Miro.
Ooh, okay.
But like part of me is like, just pick Kenny because you get over super hard, you get the biggest belt.
Yeah.
But Miro, no, I'm gonna go with Kenny because if I beat Kenny, that means I beat all of the elite.
True. I agree with you. I would love to defeat Britt Baker. That's like.
You would love to punch the shit out of Britt Baker.
No, I want to put her in the lockjaw.
Wait,
and then I want to inherit Jamie Hayter, but I don't want her to turn on me because I feel like she's going to turn on Britt Baker in like the next 2 weeks. You don't trust her.
You don't want to pick Becky?
No. I want somebody that's going to make a promo that might actually make me feel bad about myself. Like I want Jamie Hayter to turn on Britt the moment I get the title. join my side. And still kind of side-eye me occasionally, so everyone's like, oh, is she gonna turn on her?
Mm-hmm.
Except she won't, because we're in love.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like if there's any women's champion right now to beat, it's her. It's not Jamie Hayter.
Not Deonna Purrazzo. I feel like
Britt's
Deonna,
the full package.
but Deonna seems like the one to beat because she's literally beaten everybody, and she has 2 titles.
Yeah, but she can't deliver a promo for the life of her. Her voice always sounds like she's about to cry.
But you could also punch Drama King Matt in the process. Most likely. And because it's Impact, you could have a match with him.
Or, if I'm good enough to beat Britt Baker, I'm good enough to beat Deonna Purrazzo. So therefore, I will become the female Kenny Omega. I will beat Britt. I will go to Impact. I'll fight Drama King Matt. I'll beat Deonna.
One
bang, boom.
One champion.
Yeah, no, I'm just assuming that I'm going to be the best.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, Liz, would you like to end the show?
I want to end the show by singing Mark a happy birthday song.
Yeah?
No, actually, I don't. I really don't want to sing to you. But I love you.
Yeah.
There we go. I was hoping I was going to have to throw my voice.
Also, Miriam said, I will make exceptions for her 3-belt Liz.
Be awesome. So if you liked watching us tonight, tune in on Monday. Why not? It'll be fun. I'll be there.
But if you didn't like us, watch on Monday.
Yeah, we'll also be here and you can like say mean things.
Yeah, and we'll respond in mean ways.
Yeah, we will fight back. We will not be mature about it.
Yeah. You keep going.
And if you think we're fun, if you think we're sparkling young minds, luminaries of our generation, tune in on Sunday.
Why? Why on Sunday?
For SummerSlam, Mark.
That's Monday.
Tune in on Monday. Mark, take it away.
Yeah, so Monday will be the start of our WWE 2K20 streams. We're starting off with SummerSlam. We would be doing it on Sunday, but All Out's happening. So midday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/The Pinfall Podcast. Check us out. WWE 2K20 will be doing our combined SummerSlam pay-per-view. You won't want to miss it. We'll be commentating the matches. And we each have our own brands that will be coming together for this one pay-per-view and having a match, or having a lot of matches, but one cross-brand match. And that match is going to be it's going to be between from my brand, AJ Styles and Kane versus, or it's a fatal 4-way, but AJ Styles versus Kane versus who, Liz? Who's from your brand? Liz, are you kidding me?
Johnny Gargano, I think.
And
A mystery entrant.
No, it's not a mystery entrant. Who is it, Liz?
My brand new signing. I'm keeping him a mystery.
Are you?
I guess not, because you're making the match cards, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna be making the match cards.
It's Kenny Got Omega.
Oh yeah, you did tell me that.
Yeah. It was a fucking steal.
So AJ Styles versus Kane versus Kenny Omega versus Johnny Gargano. That is on the card for this Monday, among many other things. You won't want to miss it.
Mark's brand is what now?
I'll
say what your brand is.
I'm SmackDown. 90s SmackDown to be specific, but I'll probably change it to something unique. And what's yours?
Mine is Pepita Championship Wrestling, and it takes place in an old, worn-out gym
with no fans.
with no fans.
The wrestlers
and
walk through the barrier to get in.
so good. It's the best place ever. It takes place in Albany, fucking New York. I brought Bobby Fish home, baby. Eh.
All right, so thank you all so much for watching. Follow and subscribe. Our YouTube is The Pinfall Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, twitch.tv/The Pinfall Podcast. That is our live show. We can talk to you during the show. Our Twitter is at Pinfall Podcast. I'm at The Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eli's at Elaine23. We'll see you all on Monday for WWE 2K20 SummerSlam. Have a great weekend, everybody. What?
And Monday Night Raw.
And Monday Night Raw. But yeah. And 2K20 will be happening. Twitch.tv/The Pinfall Podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy AEW's All Out or just your weekend. And we'll see you on Monday.